You are a B2B service-based business owner and you are looking to gain more clients, create more impact, and more revenue in your business. Tune in to Amplify Your Marketing Message with Campbell Rapin. Every week, we're going to take you through how to build an audience of buyers, mastering your marketing message, and making offers that convert consistently. We'll see you all on the inside. I am coming to you today with a highly controversial opinion that I hold, which is visibility is a gigantic waste of time if it is not leading to consistent client growth. We're going to unpack getting the right visibility to fuel your client growth here on today's episode of Amplify Your Marketing Message with me, your host, Campbell Rapin. I'm a business mentor who has seen so much frustration with service-based providers around visibility. People who feel like they are on the hamster wheel of visibility, churning out tons of content, never realizing that they never started their business to be content creators, and facing this uncomfortable truth that it's not working. I want to give you some tips and strategies in today's episode about the 3 questions you need to be able to answer to be more effective in your communication. Give you some examples of how we support our clients to get better at this and to recognize how do you know when you're on the hamster wheel of ineffective visibility strategy so that you can choose different strategies, choose different actions to create that result, which is the right dream clients coming to you because of the efforts you take to be visible for them to find you. Business is elegantly simple, and I think visibility is one thing that has gotten a really bad rap because of the advice you've been given in the marketplace. People think that I know I need to do it, but doing it comes from a place of obligation rather than a place of joy. And when it doesn't create results, it can take all the joy out of it. You start to think, I don't know what to say. Nobody's listening anyway. And does this even matter? Well, truthfully, it does matter. But it needs to matter when it's effective, and you need to be effective at it. Because every business owner knows, and especially if you've been a regular listener and a subscriber to hear to this podcast, your business will be built on strangers. It is imperative that you focus as your number one priority, building an audience of buyers, not just an audience of visibility or a strategy around visibility. If they're not buyers, you're wasting your time. And when you are spinning your wheels, it can lead to some ineffective habits where you think, doesn't matter if I post today. Doesn't matter if I don't send that email. You start seeking outside for inspiration, and that leads you to the scrolling rabbit hole where you start to admire, copy, emulate other people's content. Except for you just then become an imitator. You sound just like they do. And it is so ineffective because you become lost in the sea of sameness, and you will never be the must hire when people don't hear your unique voice and story calling them to take action. Sometimes I've even seen clients start to appropriate the responsibility and gift it to other people, like their social media business manager or their graphics designer, and saying, well, it's up to them to do better stuff so that it's more effective. Nope. If that's you, please, right now, on behalf of everybody who's a service provider, do not go down that path. It is your responsibility to get this right. Somebody else is always executing based on the direction they've received from you. So pour garbage in will lead to garbage out. But you can't take your foot off visibility because you cannot be the best kept secret and expect to see results in your business. So if you are feeling frustrated, overwhelmed, and that you're busy but not effective, this is the invitation to listen up, grab a pen and paper, make sure you put this episode on repeat, download the episode because this is a very important resource for you. I'm going to gift you some key steps to take to get out of the overwhelm and to start creating that result. The first thing I want you to remember is that the whole goal of visibility is movement. Movement from a general audience where the self-identification of a buyer says, lean forward, take a step, I want to know more. And if you are not creating that, do not keep throwing spaghetti at the wall, hoping it will change, because it's exhausting and it's not effective, and you're slowing down the impact you could create. Instead, I want you to recognize that to have an effective visibility strategy, you need to just have that, exactly, a strategy, which means you must be able to answer 3 questions. Who do you want to talk to? What do you want to say? And how are you going to say it to create the movement? Those are 3 questions that your social media business manager or your graphics designer cannot answer for you. You, as the business owner, need to go into the marketplace to talk to previous clients, to talk to people, and figure out the most important piece of movement. What are you looking for? And what result is a priority? And how is that a priority? And what triggers happen that make the moment now, immediate? And so getting those 3 questions onto the table is the beginning point of an effective strategy, because you have to have a plan. And the plan isn't I execute Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays if all of you are doing is checking the box around your visibility. As I said, you're wasting your time if the visibility doesn't create the results. Instead, I want you to be thinking about how can you be consistently putting content out there that creates movement around those 3 questions. Because great marketing comes from the place where you focus on curating the demand versus buying a lead. Anybody can sell you leads. And trust me, there's a lot of people out there flogging automation and lead generation and all of that. But if your demand generation confidence isn't there and you don't know who you want to talk to, how you want to connect with them, and what will create movement on them, it is a colossal waste of time. Please quit the field if that is all your goal line is. Buyers have 3 things that you need to be able to identify. I am problem aware. I am clear on the result I seek, and I have been working through various different ways to create that result. I've done it on my own. I may have invested in free resources. And yes, perhaps I've even paid to help get support to guide me there. But the truth is I didn't get to the result. And when that's true, you need to say, what motivation do you have to trying again? Because if the answer isn't full commitment, all body, and I'm doing it today, they're not a buyer. And so you've got to curate the answer to those 3 questions, knowing what makes a buyer, and build your visibility strategy around it. And there's ways that we in my business support entrepreneurs, creative service-based business and consultants to do that. It is a program called the Business Scale Accelerator Mentorship. That's where we work on the 3 foundations every business owner needs and must develop skill set, capability, and confidence around. It is about first being able to know who on earth you're wanting to serve, who is the buyer. Then how do we execute visibility and content strategies in the lane that you choose? There's lots of pathways, but choose your lane so that you can create predictability from curiosity to paid client and to shorten the window. And then the third thing, of course, we do is craft that offer to ensure predictable results, because people will only pay for valued results. They have to see you as uniquely qualified to be their guide to getting it. And you've got to do that, which means you must build trust. And so when we lay that foundation and we look specifically at visibility strategy, the first thing I often observe is that you are simply not meeting enough people. I tell my clients the goal line is in front of 1,000 new people every month. And you're just going, OMG. That's okay. Stay with me. If you are visible to 1,000 people a month, our executing strategy is about pulling the buyers, the subset, out of that audience and inviting them into movement. Movement at a safe distance that gets them exploring and evaluating what is it that you're up to that can help them to create the results. Paramount to this being effective is that you understand their current place, their desired place, and understanding the consequences of the gap that exists. From that, we start to then explore what comes next. We take clients through, firstly, identifying that buyer. We then start to craft visibility strategies, and that can show up in a lot of different ways. It can show up in looking at your website copy. It can be looking at sales landing pages or sales conversations, be they oral or email or video or any other style you'd like to execute. We are also looking at the congruency, the motivations, the customer experience, and we're fine tuning so that we can shore up the result, which is more yeses to the offer. And we are evaluating the research, the real results of the conversations, the touch points, the stall points of where we'd stopped the movement, because people need multiple steps. And often, in order to see more yeses in the offer, we in fact need to simplify the offer. And that seems like a bit of an oxymoron. And that's why often in visibility, we get it wrong, because we create so much hype. We throw so much in it. We get so focused on the framework that somebody's like, it's not that I don't want it. It just seems like a lot of work and I'm overwhelmed. And so I don't move. I tell my clients, predictable results are small steps that I feel confident that I can get, make all the difference in the world. And so we support by helping them craft the visibility strategy, craft the implementation of the results, to help them evaluate the impact and the result of every action they take. And we fine tune the strategy and we implement consistently the strategy, because your buyer isn't maybe ready to purchase yet. I tell my clients really candidly, 98% of the people who choose to come into that Business Scale Accelerator mentorship program never engage actively in my content before they become buyers. But I'm intentional about crafting it so that they feel heard, they feel seen, they know what I stand for, they have confidence I can deliver the result. And they pop into my universe and say, tell me what it's like to work with you, because I want predictable client results. And I know that my efforts right now are overwhelming. I feel busy, I'm not effective, and there's got to be an easier way. There is. Business growth is elegantly simple, but you've got to dial in the foundations. And my commitment to my clients is that we don't leave you behind. I right now only offer high touch, high impact, highly customized one-to-one work. That's a choice I made, so that you simply don't get into these courses and programs where the answer is dance on TikTok 3 times a week, and you use an SBM who has the same 5 templates they give everybody else, and you look and sound like everybody else. Or you're emulating somebody who's busy, but who knows if they're making any money in their business. Don't follow false prophets. You need somebody to help you build a strategy, to know who are you talking to, what do you want to say to create movement, and how will you deliver that message predictably. You get to choose your speed on that point. Just to be clear, it isn't about a perfect formula. It is about a formula that supports movement, that is constantly being refined. Because I told you when we started, not all visibility is equal. If your visibility efforts are frustrating and not leading to client results, chances are that you are too close to what you're creating to see what it really is providing from an audience member's perspective. You are lost in the sea of sameness. You are inconsistent about what you stand for. They don't know that you even have an offer or an invitation to take a next step. And sometimes you, in fact, do have all those pieces together, but you haven't connected the dots. And you aren't inviting people to take safe evaluations of, is she credible? Is she knowledgeable? Do I trust her? Is she capable of leading me? And do I want to invest with her? Doing this well is an art, and it becomes easier with a great guide. So if you're feeling lost, I want you to come explore the Business Scale Accelerator so you can get the support to answer those questions. So you do get a third party who's got a ton of marketing, sales, and operational experiences to connect the dots to create predictable results. Visibility isn't optional, but if your visibility strategy isn't creating results, throwing more at it is just a waste of time. So my invitation to you is to stop wasting time. Know what to focus on, being able to answer your so what questions, getting really clear on who you serve and the intersection point of the result they seek. Your goal is to be able to identify the buyer through your visibility strategies and invite buyers to action and to make offers, the right offers at the right time to the people that value your results, and see the connection between the desired results and the first step. Because the first step is the only thing they'll buy. Slow down your offer. Make it simpler. Make it confidence building. This is how business is elegantly simple. This is how visibility starts to work in your favor. So be sure to download this episode. Listen back to this episode. And if you feel yourself having a gap, you don't know what to create content, I'm going to drop one resource down below, which is a previous episode where I talked about the 4 content pillars for content to have movement. You're going to want to check that episode if you've not seen it before. And I want to invite you to come explore that Business Scale Accelerator if you need somebody to guide you to get the support, to be that second set of eyes to create results. Visibility is simpler than you think. You need a second set of eyes. This is my invitation. Hope you have a great week. We'll see you on our next episode. That's a wrap on another amazing episode of Amplify Your Marketing Message with me, your host, Christine Campbell Rapin. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you don't miss another great episode. And be sure to visit christinecampbellrapin.com/podcast to get a free resource on how to master your marketing message. We'll see you all on our next episode.